Chuck Connors finally speaks up about Johnny Crawford. Kevin Joseph Ulysses Connors was born on April 14, 1940 in Brooklyn, New York, on the 10th of 1921. Led a life that would become as famous as the roles he played on screen. Connors was raised by working-class parents who had moved to the U.S. from Newfoundland. He learned to value hard labor, loyalty, and tenacity, which would shape both his real-life attitude and the characters he played in movies. He had a natural talent for sports and a strong presence from a young age, which helped him stand out in the busy neighborhoods of Brooklyn. These early years helped him develop his competitive spirit and the discipline that would help him succeed in two very demanding occupations before he ever stepped in front of a camera. Chuck Connors had already done something very uncommon long before Hollywood made him a star. He played baseball and basketball professionally in the United States. In the early years of the Basketball Association of America, Connors played for the Boston Celtics. His size, strength, and raw athleticism impressed both his colleagues and fans. He eventually switched to baseball and signed with the Brooklyn Dodgers and then the Chicago Cubs. He became known as a reliable first baseman. Even though he never became a superstar in professional sports, his determination to become the best athlete he could be earned him a reputation as a man of grit and drive. These experiences also made him more confident in his body and on stage, which later made him a logical choice for roles that needed someone tough, agile, and big. He almost unintentionally became an actor. While working in minor league baseball, Connors was known for his charismatic appearance and loud voice. And before long, he was getting offers for little parts in movies and TV shows. Hollywood instantly saw something special in him, a genuineness that couldn't be learned or manufactured. Connors was the true American West in a way that really connected with people. This was mostly because he had the same resolve and moral clarity that he showed in his sporting career. These traits would help him get his most famous part, Lucas McCain, in the popular TV show The Rifleman, which ran from 1958 to 1963. Chuck Connors became famous all over the world as Lucas McCain. His portrayal of the widowed rancher who reared his young son Mark with a mix of strict discipline, tenderness, and unbreakable moral courage made The Rifleman one of television's most beloved westerns. Connors gave the character emotional depth by displaying the vulnerability underneath the rugged demeanor and making fatherhood feel very sympathetic to millions of viewers. His ability to shoot quickly with the modified Winchester rifle in the show's famous opening scene became a TV hallmark and helped him become one of the best Western stars of all time. People liked him not only because he was a hero, but also because he gave warmth and humanity to every episode. After The Rifleman, Connors went on to have a long and successful playing career, with roles in movies including Old Yeller, Geronimo, Move Over, Darling, and Soylent Green. He was a natural for tough dominating parts since he was so tall and had such a strong voice, but he also showed astonishing breadth by playing characters that were both good and bad. Connors had a feeling of authenticity that set him apart from many other performers of his time, whether he was playing a cowboy, a sheriff, a soldier, or a frontier father. Directors commended his expertise and dedication, and co-stars generally said he was kind, generous, and very courteous on set. Chuck Connors was known off-screen for his strong family values, personal connections, and dedication to the people he cared about. People appreciated him not only for his talent but also for his honesty and kindness. Connors always took time to talk to fans, sign autographs, and visit children's hospitals. He never forgot the people who helped him with his profession. He was really grateful for his fans and was very down to earth. This enabled him make a lasting connection that lasted long after his television celebrity peaked. Chuck Connor had 3 important marriages in his personal life. Each one happened at a different point in his career as a sports and entertainment star. He married Elizabeth Jane Reddell first. They met in a place that was similar to where he was in life at the time. On the field of baseball, Connors met Elizabeth at one of his games, which was still early in his transition from athlete to actor. Their bond evolved fast into something that would stay. The couple got married on October 1, 1948, when Connors was still figuring out who he was as a professional athlete and long before he became famous on TV and in movies. They had 4 boys together, and for almost 20 years, their first marriage was the basis of Connors' family life. It kept him grounded even as his career took a big turn from sports to Hollywood prominence. Their existence as a developing family was similar to Connors' move into acting, and for many years, Elizabeth was a steady presence during the early, uncertain years of his entertainment career. Even though the marriage ended, Connors was always proud of the four boys they raised. Connors' second marriage came about because of his job in Hollywood. He married Indian-born actress Kamala Devi in 1963. They had met while working together on the 1962 movie Geronimo. There was no doubt that they had great chemistry on television. In the movie, she was his love interest, and that bond stayed strong in real life. As Connors' acting career grew and stayed at a high level of fame, Kamala Devi became not just a romantic partner but also a frequent collaborator. She worked with him on many projects, including as episodes of his hit show Branded, the 1968 TV drama Broken Saber, and the adventurous show Cowboy in Africa, where they both had important roles. Their marriage was a lively time in Connors' life, full of travel throughout the world, busy production schedules, and lots of public appearances. But even though they both liked to be creative and introduced a unique mix of cultures to each other's life, their marriage ended in 1973, 10 years after it began. The breakup ended a chapter that was very much a part of Connors' busiest and most well-known years as a TV personality. Connors was married for the third time following another professional overlap, this time meeting his future wife through work. In 1973, while filming the dystopian science fiction masterpiece Soylent Green, which would later become a cult classic, Connors met actress Faith Quabius, who played Martha. Their friendship grew into a romantic relationship over the next few years. By the time Connors married Faith in 1977, he was already a well-known television star. But their marriage didn't last very long. Even though they worked together on set and Connor liked her artistic flair, their relationship only lasted 2 years. In 1979, the pair got a divorce, ending Connor's third and last marriage. His marriage to Faith, however short, was a sign of a later stage in Connor's life, one defined by maturity, introspection, and the knowledge of the heavy professional responsibilities he had borne for decades. Fans of The Rifleman have been wondering for years what Chuck Connors really thought of his teenage co-star Johnny Crawford, who played Mark McCain and helped make the show one of the most popular father-son storylines on TV. Connors didn't often talk about his personal life in public, especially with those he worked with. He preferred to let his work speak for itself. But in the years that followed, he finally broke his lengthy quiet and talked about the friendship that influenced both of their careers with astonishing intensity and clarity. Connors started by saying that he had always felt something special about Johnny since the first time they read together. There was a gentleness in Johnny, Connors remarked. He had a sweetness and honesty that couldn't be taught. You either have that kind of heart when you are born or you don't. And Johnny had it in every part of him. Connors said that he knew right away that Crawford had a natural talent for showing sensitivity, loyalty, and strength. All of these traits are important for Mark McCain's character. He said that as they kept filming, their love off-screen blossomed into something far deeper than a standard Hollywood couple. Connors admitted that he wasn't only playing his father on TV. I felt like I was in charge of him in a lot of ways. I wanted to keep him secure, help him, and make sure he felt protected in a tough field. I didn't anticipate him to become a part of my life. Connors remembered many times on set when Crawford would approach him for help, not only about lines or scenes, but also about life, honesty, and growing up in the spotlight. As the show got more popular, Connors saw Johnny go from a shy, brilliant youngster to a confident young actor who managed a lot of stress with surprising maturity. Every day, I was proud of him. He remarked, people don't understand how hard it is for a kid to work those hours, learn lines, and deal with adults all the time. But Johnny never said anything. He made the set happy. He improved all of us. Connors also said that the emotional weight of their father-son scenes on television sometimes felt just as intense off-screen. He remarked that their relationship was based on respect and love, not fame. Even after The Rifleman was over, Connors quietly kept an eye on Crawford's life and work. He didn't talk about it much in public, but he really admired the guy Johnny became. Connors made it clear how deep his sentiments were when he thought back on their time together. He said softly, Johnny was more than a co-star. He was family. If I had been lucky enough to have a son just like him in real life, I would have thought I was very lucky. I adored that youngster and was proud to be a part of his life. Chuck Connors' decision to speak up gave fans a rare look at the love and dedication that made one of television's longest-lasting marriages so special. His remarks are a poignant homage to Johnny Crawford, a young actor who touched millions. and made a lasting impression on the man who aided him through the early years of his amazing career. On November 10, 1992, Chuck Connors, a huge star in movies and on TV, died at Cedars-Sinai Medical Center in Los Angeles, California. His career lasted for decades, and his face was instantly identifiable on screen. Lung cancer killed him. The disease had been slowly but surely becoming worse over time, and it finally took the life of a man whose public character had long been defined by his energy, strength, and commanding presence. Connors, who was 6'5" tall and had been a successful professional athlete in both baseball and basketball before becoming an actor, was facing the end of his life far from the sets of The Rifleman and the studios where he had made his mark on Hollywood history. Fans all around the country were tremendously affected by the news of his death. Many of them had grown up watching him play the strict but morally sound Lucas McCain, a figure whose bravery and honesty became symbols of mid-20th century television. Heroes, Connors' battle with lung cancer was also a very clear reminder of how even the strongest and most powerful people may get sick. He lived a full life with many accomplishments in athletics, acting, and his personal life, but his death at 71 showed how disease may affect anyone. Friends, co-workers, and fans all thought about the loss of a guy whose charm and professionalism left a lasting mark not just on the screen, but also on the hearts of those who were lucky enough to know him in person. At the time, several news sites wrote a lot about his death, focusing on his work in television, cinema, and sports, and often stressing how sad it was to lose someone so adored who had brought joy and inspiration to millions after he died. Chuck Connors was buried at San Fernando Mission Cemetery, a peaceful and historic cemetery in the San Fernando Valley near Los Angeles. This cemetery is recognized for its calm surroundings and its importance to the local Catholic community. It was the last place a guy whose life had been everything from quiet or normal to rest. The choice of San Fernando Mission Cemetery shows not only a connection to the area that was important to much of his career, but also a place where fans and admirers could pay their respects by visiting the gravesite to honor the legacy of someone who had a big impact on American culture. The cemetery itself, with its well-kept paths, tall trees, and quiet areas, is a place that encourages people to remember and think about Connors' life from his early days as an athlete to his long career in Hollywood and beyond.